Welcome back to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting, including ESPN buying the NFL Network, NFL RedZone, and NFL+ for about $2 billion. We got full details and all the rumors and swirling around this reported possible deal that's in the works. The FCC wants to speed up the end of DSL by spending billions to roll out fiber to more parts of the country, along with Netflix giving us a first look at Happy Gilmore 2. I won't lie, I'm a little excited for this movie. These stories and a whole lot more coming up here in a quick second. If you want to learn more about them, I'll put a link to each story down in the show notes so you can read them for yourself and come up with your own opinions. I'm going to hear from you. If you're new here, please consider hitting that subscribe button or hitting that thumbs up. Doing one or both lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. So we appreciate your support. Hopefully we can help you break free from the high cost of TV. Let's dive into it. A few months ago, we learned that Disney and NFL were in talks for ESPN to take over the NFL RedZone, NFL+, and NFL Network. Now with this, these will all become ESPN properties, be run by that. The NFL in exchange will get partial ownership of ESPN, something they've been looking for, some cash infusion as they get ready to launch their new streaming service later this year. And hopefully some TV rights would eventually kind of come their way with it. That's kind of been some of the rumors floating with this. But now there's been, in February, there was talks that this would be speeding up, that talks for this deal were getting serious, and it was looking like this could very well happen. Now, according to the Sports Media Podcast this week, Andrew Marhand, I apologize for my dyslexia if I butchered that last name, said ESPN could be spending $2 billion to make this deal possible, according to his sources and his information. I think that's probably a ballpark figure for this NFL network. While losing viewers, like all viewer networks are, it's still very profitable, or very worth cash, we'll call it. But the short end of this thing here is this removes some competition from ESPN, right? NFL is the most watched sport in the United States and is one of the most talked and followed about. And this allows the NFL Network, which is one of the main places people go for this, to kind of be removed as a competitor, in one sense, from ESPN. Number two, though, NFL RedZone is very popular with football fans. Brings that into the ESPN house. Probably end up with that on ESPN Plus, maybe. The NFL+ service may roll into ESPN Plus and more. Could be a huge boon for ESPN as they try to shore up against the ever-growing drop in viewership on cable TV networks. And they try to bolster content available through its new ESPN service. Could we be seeing the NFL Network bundled into the ESPN subscription streaming service? Well, if this deal happens, yeah, maybe we do. We'll have to keep a close eye on this. But $2 billion seems about right for all that, the value it would bring, even though maybe it's not quite as valuable as it once was. The NFL Network is still a very valuable asset for Disney to get its hands on. We'll keep a close eye on this story for now. Again, just reports, nothing confirmed. We're keeping close eye on this. I do think it's more likely than not that this deal will happen, and probably happen before the start of the NFL season. Next up, the FCC wants to speed up the end of DSL and traditional phone lines by replacing copper across the country. All those old copper lines that DSL runs on and old phone lines run on, rip them out, replace them with fiber, and bring high-speed internet to more rural America. It's surprising how many people still have to rely on DSL. Let's be honest, I had DSL 15 years ago now. And it's not the greatest thing in the world. Let me be very honest with you. It's slow and it's kind of rough. Where I lived, it was our only real option. The FCC wants to change some rules, unlock a bunch of legacy money that's locked into old accounts, and free it up, and it's described as billions and billions of dollars, to be used to expand fiber into rural America. And not only just do that, but cut the red tape that slows down that process. What can they do to speed up the process to rip and replace all these old copper lines with DSL on them with new fiber? We'll keep a close eye on this, but the FCC is being very serious about it. And I hope they are. You know, with everything, the one thing I really hope we can do is continue to expand fiber to rural America. 5G is awesome. I love competition. Satellite's awesome. I love competition. But I love competition. I want fiber to also be there for rural Americans. Because I've lived in areas where it's tough for internet. I know the pain. All right, Netflix is getting a Happy Gilmore 2 trailer out there. Now, it'll be coming out later this year, but Happy Gilmore 2, the next big Adam Sandler movie coming to Netflix. He's had a long-standing relationship with Netflix for a while for some of his movies. I'm very excited about this one. Won't lie, I always enjoyed Happy Gilmore, and I get it. Nothing kind can always live up to the original. But this should be fun. A lot of PGA stars are on it. If you want to see the trailer, check out the show notes down below, and I have a link to it in there in the post. All right. Fubo is expanding the availability of the regional sports networks, those RSNs. In this case, FanDuel Sports, which carries quite a few professional MLB, NHL, and NBA teams, has announced a deal that will bring it to its Latino package, its Spanish language packages, as an add-on. Previously, these RSNs had been exclusive to the English language, so if you were a Spanish-speaking sports fan and you wanted them, you had to also go pay for the English package, which was kind of pricey if you weren't really interested in the rest of the content. But now you'd be able to get that for an additional fee with it. Link in the show notes if you want to check it out. Limited markets. Again, FanDuel Sports. Hopefully other RSNs will get on this package and make their content available to others there. Amazon's new home internet service may need to rely on SpaceX's help to get into space. Now, Amazon's building a satellite-powered home internet service. It's been heavily delayed, not really because of them. They're ready to go. They're producing satellites. They've tested satellites successful, got approval. The problem is their launch partners have had multiple setbacks in being able to launch their satellites due to delays, due to technical issues, and more. With all this, Amazon's new home internet service has been pushed back, and they already have a partnership with SpaceX to launch some satellites. They added that when they saw delays in their other partners. And now, though, thanks to a report from Sat News, it's being reported that they may be relying more heavily on SpaceX to get more of their satellites in space so they can reach the goal. The FCC has set a deadline. They need to start using the spectrum or risk losing FCC approval for this. And at the moment, it seems like they may be forced to rely on SpaceX to make that a reality. It'd be very interesting. SpaceX has made it no secret that they're very interested in partnering with Amazon to put the satellites in space, even though it would be a direct competitor to SpaceX's own Starlink offering. Now, this will come with 3 different standards plans. A standard dish, which is an 11-inch satellite dish that will give you speeds up to 400 down. A Pro version, which is a lot larger, that will give you up to a gig speed. And a portable 7-inch dish that can give you up to 100 down, ideal for on-the-go connectivity if you're in an RV or if you're a hiker or whatever and you just want a portable dish to make sure you always have connection. Amazon says they'll have very competitive pricing on their equipment. It's reported they're trying to be cheaper than Amazon Starlink. We'll have to wait and see. They initially had hoped to have quite a few satellites in space by now. At the moment, there are none. They did successfully launch several test satellites, which at the end of the test included these satellites have the ability to basically self-destruct, burn up in the atmosphere, so that as they run out of fuel, they don't become a bunch of debris in space. And the final test was to test that system and make sure it works, so they're no longer up there. We'll keep an eye on this, but Amazon's home internet service is something to keep an eye on. Again, if you're in a big city and you have fiber and cable and all kinds of internet options, you probably don't care. Millions of Americans do not, and services like this are a great option. All right, today in TV history, this week, I should say in TV history, 36 years ago this week, Dallas' 300th episode milestone aired on CBS, the wildly popular TV show. Who Killed JR is probably still something that even if you don't really watch the show or know much about the show, you probably heard of that at some point It was a massive cliffhanger that kind of started a huge trend in cliffhangers. I know they're probably not the first or anything, but definitely probably one of the most memorable cliffhangers and questions that left an audience hanging at the end of a season. We'll keep a close eye on all the news in the world of cord cutting, but that's what's happening this last 24 hours in cord cutting. Few things real quick. If you like getting news, we have a free newsletter every Monday through Friday, 7 days a week, really goes out with all the news stories happening in the world of cord cutting. So you don't even have to wait for me. All the stories I talk about are often in it, but also other stories. What we talk about here is not everything that from the website, it's just some of the best stories from the website. You can sign up for that in the show notes down below. It's a free email. You can sign up for a weekly one on Mondays or a daily one and get all the biggest stories to your email box every morning. Also, hey, we're on X, we're on Facebook. Check out the show notes. We have a ton of social media out there. Follow us there. We're looking at a few other ones to add. Don't worry. I know it's always tough because not everybody likes different social media. We hear ya. But check us out there so you can get the breaking news as soon as it happens right there. Well, that's it for today. I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care. Be safe. I'll be back again tomorrow with another video.